In this video, I'm going to be going over the relationship between market and firm, perfect competition, how to determine whether it's a profit or a loss, difference between revenue, cost, and profit, and what do firms do whenever there's a profit or a loss, or if there is a zero profit. Right here, I've quickly set up two different graphs, one for the market and one for the firm. So in the market, this will be a demand and supply graph. So we'll see right here, we have demand, and then we have supply. Then we have equilibrium, prices, and quantities. So it's quantity equilibrium, price equilibrium, and then how this relates to the firm is that the market sets the price for the firm, or as we like to call it, the Mr. Darp line for the firm. So we come across here, and we have this line, and this is our Mr. Darp line. Remember to keep in mind that Mr. Darp is always going to be set by the market. The firms do not choose where the Mr. Darp line is, the price, or the demand, the market does. Now with all this set up, we can get into how firms make a profit or a loss and what firms should do in those case scenarios. To fully explain this, we need to draw a couple more lines, which is marginal cost and average total cost. So let's do that. This right here is our marginal cost. We know this as the Nike symbol, and I will draw my average total cost here. Now remember, average total cost can only start increasing once it intersects with marginal cost. The minimum of ATC must hit marginal cost and then it'll start increasing. Now the MR, Mr. Darp, signifies marginal revenue. So if we dot up to here, or Mr. Darp and marginal cost intersect, we can get our total revenue. And then from that same point, we can't change it because that is a profit maximizing point. Once we go up from that same point, we'll use green to signify this. We can also get the total cost, which is going to be depicted by the green box. What I did there was simply just take the quantity, which is a profit maximizing quantity, and dot up to the average total cost, and then dot to the left to find the total cost, which is the area of that box. Now it's very easy to see that the total revenue box is bigger than the total cost box. So if we subtract total revenue and total cost like this, you get your profit slash loss. And right here, since total revenue is bigger than total cost, we get a profit, which can be depicted by this box here. In the event of a profit, firms will enter the market. Now let's look at a loss. So, like we did last time, let us have our marginal cost, and our ATC will be up here. Remember, the minimum is when it starts increasing, minimum intersects with marginal cost, and once it does that, the ATC will start increasing. So remember, our total revenue is the profit maximizing point, which is where Mr. Darp intersects with marginal cost. Marginal revenue intersects with marginal cost. Same thing. So this right here is our total revenue. Sorry. Now we can switch to green here. Same point, our profit maximizing point. We go up, and here is our total cost box when it hits average total cost. Now in this case scenario, total revenue is less than total cost. So in this situation, profit is negative, therefore we are at a loss, and this would be where the loss is depicted. Now in the event of a loss, firms will leave. Now this is a very common, firms leave the market. Now this is a very common practice in a lot of markets where firms exit and leave until you're at zero profit, and then you reach the long run, which will be depicted next. Now to get zero profit, you can probably guess what happens, but total revenue needs to equal total cost, hence the name zero profit. And right here in this graph, when ATC intersects with the profit maximizing point, right there, you can see that total revenue equals total cost. So whenever total revenue and total cost subtract, they are zero, therefore yielding zero profit. Now in this situation, firms will remain there in the long run. The recurring difference in all these situations is where ATC lies. If ATC is above the Mr. DARP line, it is above the profit maximizing point, then there will be a loss. If ATC is below the profit maximizing point, there will be a profit. And when it intersects with the profit maximizing point, there will be zero profit and firms will remain. This concludes my Unit 3 review video on the relationship between markets and firms.